freedoms of making independent music is that you feel just unencumbered a little bit from this big machine. When you record for a major label, there are a lot of cooks in the kitchen about what you write and what you record and how everything looks and sounds. But one of the things that I've loved about this period of my life is that I think much less about music as a commodity, and I see it more as a companion to the things that I care about in my life.
How long have you been married?
I've been married long enough that we regularly get into these kind of strange arguments about how long we've been married. Yeah, Josh was born, and then 2 years later our son Justin was born. The boys grew up at the end of the 80s, kind of through the heyday of Me in the Distance. Adoption was something that I can honestly say was never on our radar. Something kind of started percolating in my wife's heart. And I'm not proud to tell you that the very first thought that went through my mind when she said, "Geoff, I'd like you to think and pray about maybe we should adopt," was I have to figure out how to stop this. But I went from not wanting to do it to we're supposed to do this. And we adopted Anna Grace, and then 2 years later we adopted Ashley Rose. I kind of felt like it was just something I was going to do to help somebody. I just didn't expect it to help me so much.
You can have my heart, all the love I have is here.
My dad had grown up in rural poverty, and I think one of the gifts he wanted to give his kids is that we be protected from poverty. As a result, I had very little contact with poverty. That trip to Haiti was just, it tore me down. It introduced me to the world as so much of it really is, and confusion or anger or frustration or sadness, because it shook some pretty foundational issues in my life. But that ministry's been like this great rudder, because it's allowed me to see just the impact that a relationship with Jesus makes in people's lives. That was the first of, golly, I bet I've been on 40 trips with Compassion since that trip to Haiti. And it's one of those things where I started out to help somebody, and I'll never repay those people for what they've taught me. I mean, at this point in my life, and I've talked to enough of my friends that I know a lot of us feel the same thing of really wanting to make every day count, wanting to be present in the moments that we're living in, and not be caught up in just trying to get to a goal. That there's something meaningful, tangible, simple, obedient about kind of get up in the morning and just say, I don't know about tomorrow, I don't know about next week or next month or next year, but I have a feeling about today, about what I'm supposed to do today. That is where contentment is born for me. If I found a peaceful place in my life, it's that.
I've been thinking about my story. I pray I'm passing on the story.